Have you ever wondered why Taurus men can be so stubborn, yet determined at the same time? Is this a sign of narcissism? This question has likely crossed your mind if you've ever had the pleasure, or perhaps the challenge, of knowing a Taurus man. As the second sign of the zodiac, Taurus is often associated with qualities of steadfastness and resolve. But let's dive deeper into understanding the true nature of this earth sign. Taurus is symbolized by the bull, an animal renowned for its stubbornness. But have you ever wondered why bulls are considered stubborn? It's because they stand their ground. They have a clear sense of what they want and are not easily swayed. Similarly, Taurus men are known for their unyielding nature. When they set their mind to something, they stick to it, come rain or shine. But here's where it gets interesting. This stubbornness often intertwines with a strong sense of determination. Taurus men are not just stubborn for the sake of being difficult. They're stubborn because they are profoundly determined. They have a clear vision of what they want and will push through obstacles to achieve it. Now you might be wondering, doesn't that sound a lot like narcissism? It's a fair question. Narcissism often involves a strong sense of self-importance and a lack of regard for others' needs. But while Taurus men can come across as self-centered due to their stubbornness and determination, it's essential to differentiate between these traits and narcissism. Taurus men, with their stubborn determination, are not necessarily disregarding others. They're simply focusing on what they believe is important. It's not about superiority, it's about purpose and conviction. However, like any trait, when taken to an extreme, it can become a problem. It's when the stubbornness and determination of a Taurus man overshadow empathy and consideration for others that we veer into narcissistic territory. While it's easy to label Taurus men as narcissistic due to their stubbornness and determination, it's crucial to understand where these traits originate from. After all, understanding is the first step to navigating any relationship successfully. And as we peel back the layers of the Taurus man, we find a complex interplay of traits that can both challenge and reward us in equal measure. What do you associate with a Taurus man's inclination towards materialism and possessiveness? This question invites us to delve into the psyche of the Taurus man, understanding his deep-rooted desires and their implications on relationships. Materialism, at its core, is the tendency to consider material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. It's no secret that Taurus men, ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and money, are known for their love of the finer things in life. They appreciate quality, value, and luxury, and their materialistic tendencies often reflect a desire for stability and security. However, the flip side of this coin is possessiveness. In the context of relationships, this can translate into a Taurus man wanting to have control over his partner, just as he does over his prized possessions. This can potentially stifle individual growth and personal freedom, creating a sense of being owned rather than loved. So how does this play out in a relationship? For one, a Taurus man's materialism may lead to a focus on wealth acquisition, often at the expense of emotional intimacy. Secondly, his possessiveness can foster a climate of jealousy and control, which can be damaging to the dynamics of a relationship. However, it's crucial to remember that materialism and possessiveness are not inherently bad. They are simply expressions of a Taurus man's need for security and control. Understanding these traits can be a stepping stone towards building a healthier and more balanced relationship. For instance, by acknowledging a Taurus man's need for material security, you can encourage him to find a balance between wealth acquisition and emotional investment. Similarly, by understanding his possessiveness, you can promote open communication and mutual respect, helping him to appreciate the importance of personal freedom and individual growth. In conclusion, materialism and possessiveness, when understood and navigated wisely, don't have to be stumbling blocks in a relationship with a Taurus man. Instead, they can become stepping stones to deeper understanding and more harmonious interactions. Materialism and possessiveness can be challenging traits in a relationship, but understanding them can lead to more harmonious interactions. Scene script. Is a Taurus man patient or is he inflexible? Where do we draw the line? The Taurus man by nature is patient. He's the embodiment of the phrase, "slow and steady wins the race." But sometimes this patience can mask a certain inflexibility. This can be a tricky territory to navigate because what appears as patience on the surface may actually be a refusal to budge from a fixed position. So how can you tell the difference? It's all about perception and understanding. Taurus men are known for their steadfastness. They are grounded and loyal, often sticking to routines and habits that have served them well. This could be seen as patience, or it could be seen as inflexibility, depending on the situation and perspective. But here's the thing, patience is about waiting for the right moment, while inflexibility is about refusing to change. A patient Taurus man will wait for the right moment to act. An inflexible Taurus man will refuse to change his course of action, even when circumstances call for a change. So, how can you navigate this delicate balance? It's about fostering compromise and maintaining personal boundaries. If you're dealing with an inflexible Taurus man, it's important to establish your own boundaries. Let him know what you're comfortable with and where your limits are. At the same time, show him that compromise isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and flexibility. Try to find a middle ground where both of you can meet. This may not always be easy, but it's worth the effort. Remember, a relationship is a two-way street. It's about balance and mutual respect. So, don't be afraid to stand your ground and assert your needs. This doesn't mean you're being inflexible. It means you're being assertive and maintaining your boundaries. In dealing with a Taurus man, patience and understanding are key. But it's also important to know when patience becomes inflexibility and how to address it. Recognizing the difference between patience and inflexibility can help navigate and improve relationships with Taurus men. Did you know that Taurus men are known for their sensual nature, but often struggle with emotional expression? This seemingly contradictory trait is yet another facet of the complex Taurus personality. Taurus men are earth signs, deeply connected to the world around them. They appreciate the finer things in life, finding pleasure in the textures, tastes, sights, sounds, and smells that many of us take for granted. This heightened sense of sensuality often translates into a deep appreciation for beauty, comfort, and physical connection. They may express their affection through touch, gifts, or acts of service, revealing their love in tangible ways. However, this outward expression of affection can sometimes overshadow their emotional depth. Taurus men aren't always the best at verbalizing their feelings. They may struggle to find the right words, or fear that their emotions might disrupt the steady, stable image they strive to maintain. This can lead to a certain level of emotional reticence, creating a challenge for those seeking a deeper emotional connection. It's not that Taurus men are devoid of emotion, far from it. They feel deeply and passionately, but they tend to internalize these feelings, keeping them locked away like precious treasures. This emotional reserve can often be mistaken for indifference or detachment, leading to misunderstandings and communication difficulties in relationships. In dealing with a Taurus man, patience and understanding are key. Encourage open and honest dialogue, but don't force it. Understand that their reluctance to express their emotions doesn't mean they don't care. They simply express their feelings differently. Look for the subtle cues, the small acts of kindness and affection that speak volumes about their feelings. Navigating a relationship with a Taurus man requires a delicate balance. Recognize and appreciate his sensual nature, but also understand his struggles with emotional expression. Remember, it's not about changing him, but about understanding him, accepting him, and loving him in his entirety. Understanding a Taurus man's sensual nature and emotional struggles can help foster better communication and deeper connections. How can you maintain your sense of self when dealing with a Taurus man's strong personality traits? It's a question many of us have pondered, and the answer lies in two key concepts: establishing boundaries and practicing self-care. We all know that Taurus men are known for their determination and stubbornness. These traits can be admirable, but they can also lead to a sense of imbalance in relationships, particularly when they border on narcissism. This is where setting boundaries comes in. Boundaries are like invisible lines that you draw around yourself to protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They're your personal rules of engagement, defining what's acceptable and what's not in your relationship. Boundaries can be simple, like deciding when and how often you're available for communication, or they can be more complex, like setting limits on how much emotional support you can provide. Remember, it's not about controlling the other person, but about respecting and preserving your own well-being. Now, let's talk about self-care. Self-care is not just about bubble baths and spa days, although those are certainly part of it. It's about taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. It's about making time for activities that rejuvenate you, that make you feel alive and connected to yourself. It's about nurturing your passions and your interests outside of your relationship. Self-care is also about recognizing your own worth and not allowing it to be defined by someone else. It's about standing up for yourself and asserting your needs and wants. It's about understanding that you have a right to be treated with respect and kindness, always. Establishing boundaries and practicing self-care are empowering tools. They allow you to navigate relationships with awareness and resilience. They give you the strength to stand up to the bull, so to speak, without losing sight of who you are and what you value. While Taurus men can be challenging, setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care can help you maintain balance and harmony in your relationships. Remember, you are not just a supporting character in someone else's story. You are the protagonist of your own life, and you have the power to write your own narrative. So go ahead, take the pen,